swing states, and Donald Trump wouldn't even be in the picture today, but for the fact that Democrats did not go vote. Don't let that happen again. We got another chance in less than 2 years. Now I'm going to talk to you about two votes that have taken place just recently. One took place yesterday. The Trump budget. Folks, the budget of this country is $6.8 trillion. Do you know how much a trillion is? It's 1,000 billion. And our budget is $6.8 trillion. They're going around with this person who isn't even an American, throwing all these people off their jobs, committing all these atrocities against federal workers and every other thing they say they can find to eradicate waste in the government. Do you know how much they've found so far? They say they've found 55 billion.
Right.
55 billion, and just yesterday they admitted that the 5 largest areas in which they have said they found waste aren't even the truth. So they're finding almost nothing, but they're putting this country through misery, absolute misery, to do this. But here's what the budget includes. $885 billion of cuts in health care to the people of this country, the poorest people who are on 45 million on Obamacare and millions of children on CHIPS, the child insurance program sponsored by the federal government. And why are they doing this? They're not finding fraud and waste and abuse. They're wanting to cut out the poorest people in this world, in this country, who are on health care so they can afford a $2 trillion rise, or a $4 trillion rise in the debt of this country, because they want to give it in a tax cut to the wealthiest people in America. That's how they're going to finance it. It isn't about waste. It isn't about abuse. If you want to find waste, you have a way to determine if a department is being efficient or not in their handling of their funds. You don't take a chainsaw and stand up the richest man in the world and act like a total idiot and have no compassion on the poorest among us. We don't do that. I'm sorry. I'm angry. But if we don't get angry, we're going to end up with dictatorship in America. And for God's sake, Democrats, don't let that happen. All of this is just a sideshow. They're not going to find enough money in what they're doing to even count. What they want is to justify a massive tax cut, 90% of which will go to the top 1% of the wealthiest people in America, just like they did before. Do you know what the average tax cut for that 1% will be when they pass this budget? $334,266. Each one of them will get. You know what you'll get?
Nothing.
If you're lucky, you'll get 100 or a little bit more. This is about a massive transfer of wealth from the middle and low income people of this country to the wealthiest people of this country. And that's all it's about. Because once that much wealth gets in the hands of all the billionaires, those are the only people that Trump has to answer to. They already own the courts. They already own the money. Now they're getting control of the media. They're getting it all their way. And if you don't stand up, if you don't get angry, if you don't show up at their meetings and protest, if you don't write emails to their congressmen who are backing this nonsense, they're going to be in charge for a long time while your children are trying to face living in this country. Do you want an autocracy?
No.
Do you want an oligarchy to replace our democracy in America?
Oh, hell no.
Listen, the second vote I want to tell you about happened this week also. It was a vote in the United Nations. Folks, if you go 40 miles from here, southern White County, where I grew up, go to Union Ridge Cemetery, a beautiful little cemetery on the side of a hill over there. 6 generations my family's been in this country. You will find one stone marker after another. POW, MIA, died in battle in Germany, in the South Pacific, served in Korea, in Vietnam. He just sold them out for 80 some odd years. We have had the NATO alliance, the freest alliance in the history of the world, to confront the dictators like Putin. And he just sold us out. He just told us that those people and all the millions of young men and women that have served all over the world, whose graves are a testimony to our national loyalty and freedom, he just told them, your deaths didn't count. How in the hell can the American Legion and the VFW and these groups ever endorse somebody like Donald Trump? He's a coward.
Amen. Yes.
He's an